love to go to school, you know, and play with all me mates. I get a smashing feeling as I walk in through the gates. I go into the classroom and there's a sudden hush. Then all the kids jump up and shout, let's read with Basil Brush. Let's read with Basil Brush.
Way! We're going to have another story about Pepper, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Basil.
My granny likes dogs, Mr. Howard. She had one once, you know. It had a long tail and a black eye called
Really?
Patch. I don't know what the other eye was called.
Do you want to try and guess what today's story is about?
Well, it's about Pepper, isn't it?
Well, of course it's about Pepper, but what's he doing?
I don't know, do I?
Well, I'll give you a clue.
Go on, give us one of your useless clues.
This should help you.
It's Pepper's shopping bag.
It's not Pepper's shopping bag. The clue is inside the bag.
Well, it's not much use in there, is it? How do you expect me to tell you what the story is about if you keep the clue in there?
I'm going to describe it to you, aren't I?
Yes, of course you are.
Right, so it's big.
It's an elephant.
It's not an elephant.
Well, an elephant's big.
It's big and bouncy.
It's a rubber elephant.
It's not a rubber elephant.
Oh.
Look, how would I get an elephant into a little bag like that?
With great difficulty, Mr. Howard.
Look, will you listen?
Yes.
It's big, it's bouncy, and it's fun to play with.
It's my Uncle Willie.
Your Uncle Willie?
Yes, he's big and bouncy and fun to play with.
It is not your Uncle Willie.
Oh.
I can throw what's in there up in the air and catch it.
It's definitely not my Uncle Willie. No, definitely not.
It's a ball.
It's a ball.
So today's story is called...
Pepper's Uncle Willie.
Pepper hasn't got an Uncle Willie.
Hasn't he? I have. He's big and bouncy and fun to play with.
I don't want to hear any more about your Uncle Willie. Today's story is called Pepper's Surprise.
Pepper's surprise. Right. Well, come on then. Let's get on with it.
One day, Pepper had a pleasant surprise.
His Uncle Willie came bouncing in.
The postman called with a big parcel.
What's surprising about that? If the milkman had brought it, that would have been a surprise.
The postman called with a parcel, a big parcel addressed to Pepper.
Yeah.
I like surprises, said Pepper.
So the postman hit him with his bag?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
He couldn't wait to tear the paper off the outside. Inside the paper was a big box.
That's not much of a surprise,
That
is it?
wasn't it.
Oh.
Inside the big box
Yeah.
was a present from Pepper's Auntie Molly. It was big and bouncy and round. And if you mention your Uncle Willie, I'll...
All right. I will not mention my... I will not mention him again.
Good.
Can I mention my Auntie Nellie?
Why?
She's married to Uncle Willie.
Ooh. Pepper had a new ball.
Yes.
Pepper couldn't wait to play with his new ball.
No.
So he didn't even bother to go outside. He played with it in the house. But his mum wasn't very pleased.
Wouldn't he let her have a go with it then?
Yes, he would. No, she didn't want to play with it. You're going to break something, Pepper, she said.
And he did.
Look, who's reading this story?
Well, it's your mouth that's opening and closing. I suppose it's you.
Well, just let me get on with it, then.
All right.
If you want to play with your new ball, you'll have to take it outside.
So he went outside to break something.
I'm going to break something.
Don't you hit me. Teacher's watching.
Pepper took his new ball into the garden.
Yeah.
And make sure it doesn't go over the fence, his mother shouted after him.
Why is that then?
Well, you see, next door to Pepper lived grumpy Mr. Hippo.
Not him
If the
again.
ball went into his garden, he probably wouldn't get it back.
Grumpy Mr. Hippo, eh? Like you, was he, Mr. Howard?
I'm not grumpy.
You what? Last time you laughed, your face cracked.
Pepper put the ball down on the ground.
Yes.
Here comes Pepper, he said.
That's clever. I've never heard of a talking ball before.
It wasn't the ball that was talking, it was Pepper.
Oh.
Here comes Pepper, the best footballer in the world.
Big head.
And he kicked it round the garden.
Licked it round the garden?
Kicked it round the garden.
Oh, I beg your ever so pudding.
Pepper soon got tired of being a footballer.
Yeah.
So he thought of a different game.
Tiddlywinks.
Not tiddlywinks.
It's a game?
It's not the game that Pepper played.
Oh.
Instead of kicking the ball, he threw it in the air.
Yeah.
He threw it higher and higher.
Yeah.
And each time it came down again, he tried to catch it.
My Uncle Willie tried to catch a ball once, you know. He ended up in hospital for 3 weeks.
What kind of ball was that?
A cannonball.
But Pepper didn't notice that each time he threw the ball into the air, he was moving nearer and nearer to Mr. Hippo's fence.
Get away.
Pepper threw the ball as high as he could.
Yes.
But as he waited for it to come down again, a gust of wind caught it and blew it right over Mr. Hippo's fence.
Oh, that's
Mr. Hippo was fast asleep in a deck chair.
Not for long, eh?
The ball came down and, oh dear, it bounced off Mr. Hippo's head.
Oh, lucky it wasn't a cannonball.
Mr. Hippo yelled out as the ball woke him up. Where did that come from, he cried.
It's a present from Pepper's Uncle Willie.
It wasn't from Pepper's Uncle Willie. He peeped over the fence.
He leapt over the fence?
He peeped over the fence.
I beg your pudding.
Pepper peeped over the fence to see what had happened to his bouncy new ball.
Yeah.
He saw Mr. Hippo rubbing his head and wanted to hide.
Get away.
But Mr. Hippo saw him. "Is that your ball?" shouted Mr. Hippo.
It's yours now, said Pepper, and he ran in for his tea.
No, he didn't.
Oh.
Yes, it is, said Pepper. "I'm very sorry, Mr. Hippo. It was the wind, you see. It blew my ball into your garden."
He's right, Mr. Howard.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
No.
It was the wind.
And I know it was.
A gust of wind caught it and blew it right over Mr. Hippo's fence, you knew.
I know it did. Can I get on?
What, Mr. Hippo's fence? You'd flatten it.
Not on the fence. I want to get on with the story.
Oh, all right. Come on.
Mr. Hippo looked as if he might explode.
Yeah, he's not the only one. So do you.
Then a funny thing happened.
He fell over his deck chair.
No, he didn't.
Oh.
Mr. Hippo looked at his watch to see what time it was.
Yes.
He looked up at Pepper and he smiled.
Huh?
Mr. Hippo wasn't angry.
What? A great big bouncy ball comes crashing out of the sky, bounces off his bonds, and all he does is smile?
"Thank you," he said. "Thank you."
Thank you.
"Thank you," he said.
He said it again, did he?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
"Thank you."
Thank you.
I was fast asleep.
Yeah.
If you hadn't woken me up, I would have missed my tea.
It's a good job Pepper didn't miss his bonds, isn't it?
Yeah, Pepper felt quite pleased with himself.
Oh, yeah?
"That's quite all right, Mr. Hippo," he said. "Would you like me to wake you up with my ball at supper time, too?"
Yes, and breakfast time, and dinner time, and bath time, and supper time, and isn't it time we got on with the story?
Mr. Hippo smiled. "No, thank you," he said, as he gave the ball back to Pepper. And Pepper promised from that moment on he will keep the ball in his garden.
Oh.
At least he'd try.
Oh, I enjoyed that story, Mr. Howard.
Shall we read it again?
You try and stop me, mate. Come on, Mr. Howard. Let's read the story. I'll read it with you this time.
Right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Right.
Mr. Howard.
What?
Are you ready?
Now, don't start that again.
Start what, Mr. Howard?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm waiting for you. Come on, let's get on with it.
Pepper had a new ball.
Pepper had a new ball.
He played with it in the house.
He played with it in the house.
He kicked it round the garden.
He kicked it round the garden.
He threw it in the air.
He threw it in the air.
It bounced off Mr. Hippo's head.
It bounced off Mr. Hippo's head.
Pepper peeped over the fence.
Pepper peeped over the fence.
Mr. Hippo wasn't angry.
Mr. Hippo wasn't angry.
He gave the ball back to Pepper.
He gave the ball back to Pepper. Hey, we can make a picture of Mr. Hippo with my cards, Mr. Howard.
Thought you might say that.
Well, come on, get the box, come on.
Right.
There.
Right, and no tricks this time.
Tricks,
No,
Mr.
look, every time I try to make a picture with your cards, it always goes wrong, doesn't it?
Well, you're the one who picks the cards. Come on, let's see if you can make a hippo.
A hippo?
Yeah, like Mr. Hippo on the story. Come on, what do we need first?
Well, a hippo has a big head, doesn't it?
That's right. Well, let's find a big head for the hippo.
A big head.
Ah, big head. A big head for a big hippo, eh, Mr. Howard? What do we need next?
Well, he also has a fat body, doesn't he?
Oh, well, then, find a fat body.
There we are. A fat body.
Ah, big head, fat body. What else does your hippo need, Mr. Howard?
Well, he'll need some legs, won't he?
Oh, how many legs?
4.
Oh, is that all? 4 fat legs for a big fat hippo. Go on and find 4. Oh, you got them. Marvellous.
There. 4 legs.
Ah, a big head, fat body, 4 legs. Ah, that's your hippo, is it, Mr. Howard?
Yes. Big head, fat body, 4 legs. That's definitely a hippo.
You quite sure?
I'm quite sure.
Let's see your hippo, then.
All right.
Yeah, go on. Ooh.
Big head, fat body.
That's the funniest looking hippo I've ever seen.
You've caught me again, haven't you?
Oh, dearie me.
The time has come for us to go, we hope you will agree. It's been a lot of fun today for you and him and me. Goodbye from Mr. Howard, goodbye from Master Brush. Until next time we hear you shout, let's read with Basil Brush. Let's read with Basil Brush.